Hey, Caleb Dennison for Digital Trends. We are in New York at the Samsung Spring Launch event where we are getting a private listening session with the HW-K950. Now, this is a soundbar-based surround sound system, not just a surround sound system, but a Dolby Atmos surround sound system that's designed basically to take on a full-on receiver and separate speakers, but do it in a more convenient way. And frankly, it's priced that way too. So we're here to find out, is it really all that? The HW-K950 system, we'll call it K950 for short, is made up of 4 components. There's the soundbar, a wireless subwoofer, and 2 wireless surround speakers. But what's inside all those cabinets is really important. In the soundbar, there are 3 front firing channels, left, right, and center, and 2 upward firing channels for the first half of the Atmos surround experience. The soundbar has 2 2.5-inch drivers paired with a 30mm tweeter for all 3 channels, while the Atmos array up top is made up of just 2 2.5-inch drivers. Each one in the soundbar gets its own 20-watt amp, and it should be noted that the soundbar has a user-facing LCD display and is outfitted with 2 HDMI inputs and 1 HDMI out. The surround speakers are similar, except there are no tweeters. Instead, the outward and upward firing speakers are full-range 2.5-inch speakers like those used up front, each getting 35 watts, and notice the only thing to plug in is a power cord. The 2 surrounds get their signals wirelessly from the soundbar. And so does the sub, which packs an 8-inch driver paired with a 160-watt amplifier and is ported on the back. This gives us a 5.1.4 surround system, with the last digit there referring to the 4 up-firing drivers which bounce sound off the ceiling for a more immersive experience. That being the case, you'll want a relatively flat ceiling in reasonable proximity to get the most from this system. The cabinetry for each of these parts felt fairly substantial, but we're not talking furniture-grade MDF here. At least it's wood and not plastic. As I said before, Samsung says it poured many man-hours into developing this system, and you can hear that immediately. This is easily the best home theater sound system Samsung has made yet, and you can really hear that in the treble response, which is not harsh, sibilant, or shrill in the least. Actually, it's pretty warm, and that's a huge change for Samsung. It's obvious an engineer put a lot of time into voicing this system, not just pulling parts off a shelf, slapping them together, and calling it good. Are you ready for a shocker, though? The K950 system is being introduced at retail for $1,500. That's a lot. We could recommend AV receivers with full sets of speakers at that price. And granted, you do get wireless surround speakers here, and the Atmos effect is convincing. Also, Samsung has a smaller K850 soundbar and wireless sub, but you give up the rear channels and you're still paying $900 in that case. We get that Samsung wants to be taken a little more seriously in the audio department, and we agree it deserves that for its efforts on systems like this. They really do sound good. Still, that kind of pricing, right or wrong, is a big reach for Samsung and is going to be a tough sell. We'll look for these to come down in price in the coming months, and in the meantime, we'll be pulling in the K950 for a full review just as soon as it is made available early this summer.